I will be monitoring that. Cool. So we have someone who's looking to sell in fashion accessories. We have an online retail for bags, hats, and other products. David, I have a chat about closed captioning for this presentation. Do you know how I enable that?
Closed captioning should not be enabled.
It should not.
It should not be enabled. We never use that.
There's someone who's doing soldering materials for the electronic industry, such as solder paste, Tachyflex. Very cool. Handbags. A lot of fashion stuff. Of course, it's always e-commerce is very popular for that. Well, it's very popular for everything. All right, well, we are about at the 5-minute mark, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Shopify Basics. This will be all about launching your e-commerce website. Sorry, let me reposition the chat out of my way. This is put on by the SBDC, the NorCal SBDC. I'm with the Shasta-Cascade Center. And here's just a quick disclaimer, our little bit of legalese that we have to go through with you. The information provided in this webinar and any supplementary materials provided to registrants are intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, or legal advice. No registrant should act or fail to act on the basis of any material contained in this webinar without obtaining a proper financial, legal, or other professional advice specific to their situation. The Northern California Small Business Development Center and its host, the HSU Sponsored Program Foundation, specifically disclaims any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the information presented in this webinar. All right, so as I said, we are the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. Now, if you are not familiar with the SBDC or our center, the SBDC is a nonprofit organization. We provide confidential, no-cost advisory and training services to small businesses. What that means is that we are funded through the SBA. So we are funded by your tax dollars, and you can come to your local SBDC. There are SBDCs all around the country, and you can get one-on-one business advice for your specific business, and it's absolutely paid for by your tax dollars. So it's something that we highly encourage you to take advantage of. We are one center. There are centers all across the country that also put on webinars just like this one. So I am Megan Spaulding. I am an advisor here with the SBDC. I am an e-commerce specialist. This is my bread and butter. It's what I know the most about. I've helped a variety of businesses get online, from mom and pop shops to handmade products to full-scale boutiques or car part resellers. I've worked with some major name brand companies that have styled people like Beyonce, some really cool stuff. And I am a Shopify partner and developer. So at the heart of what I do is a lot of development and a lot of optimizing online stores to make sure that you are getting the best sales. Oops. Sorry about that. All right. Oh, I'm skipping that. There we go. Okay, here's the agenda for today. We will be first and foremost going through planning your shop. We're going to go through some of the big questions, such as understanding your shipping. We're going to touch on taxes. However, if you will remember the disclaimer, we are not tax professionals. And so all of this, you will definitely want to make sure that you go and consult someone. So we'll go through setting up your Shopify account, choosing your theme, inputting products and collections, managing orders, your payment processing, and launching your shop. So we're going to hit a lot. The goal of this webinar is really to get you acquainted with Shopify. This is not to master it. We're not going to go through every single detail we're not designing a shop live, but you will have enough information that you will be able to effectively, one, prepare for your Shopify store and get a basic shop course set up DIY on your own and start taking orders online. So we already did this. For anyone who wasn't here, if you could drop your who you are, what your business or business idea is, and why you're here in the chat, make sure that you are sending that directly to me. My name's Megan, so that I can see that. You guys can continue to drop that in. All right, so when looking and talking about Shopify, the first question we need to answer is why e-commerce? Why would we even think about taking the time to put an online shop together? So the global e-commerce has jumped 15.6 from 15.6% of retail sales to 20% during COVID. I think if COVID has taught us anything when it comes to retail, it is that an online presence is extremely helpful. And it really, e-commerce has soared during this time when people haven't been able to get out to shops the same way they used to be able to. It is a $27.6 trillion market. So this is a very, very big pie, which means that there is plenty of pieces for you to have a share in this giant money pot. So it's not only is it a huge market, it is a growing market, and 87% of shoppers now begin their product searches online. So a vast majority of people, when they're looking to buy something, they're going online first, they're doing their research. Even if they plan to purchase in store, a lot of people will be in store and get online and check pricing to see if pricing is different online or in different stores, or if they want to go ahead and order something versus buying it then, if they can save a buck. So you can imagine the type of organic reach you can get if someone's looking for a product, they're in store and they're searching and they're able to find yours and actually make the sale with you instead. So some benefits of Shopify is, of course, customers can shop 24/7. So on e-commerce, you don't have to keep someone at the store the whole day. They can shop in the middle of the night if they want to. They're not bound by a location. So someone in Florida can shop a boutique that's located in New Jersey. You can gain new customers. A lot of that due to being bound by not being bound by location. There's a low overhead or minimal investment to get up and running. A lot of these platforms and tools out there are things that you can do and get started on your own. Of course, there are a lot of designers and developers out there that can help take you to the next level. But if you have $0 to your name and you only have enough to pay your hosting fees and you're just getting started, it's really a low barrier to entry versus having to find somewhere to rent and paying that rent and being on the hook for however many years. There's also a quick go-to-market time. You don't have to do an interior design rehaul on a physical space. A lot of these themes are pre-built and ready to use for websites. You have the high ability to streamline. So with something like e-commerce, you can actually ship all of your inventory to a warehouse and you never even have to think about it. There's also a lot of customer data insights. So you can see how customers are behaving. You can run a lot of different reports through e-commerce, both through Shopify as well as through Google Analytics, and really understand how customers are moving through your online shop so that you can optimize to better serve them. Some other benefits as project education abilities. This one can be a huge one, especially if you're selling something unique that it's not, it might be innovative and a shirt, people are going to know you put that on. it's something you wear, right? But a fancy diaper bag that has all kinds of different nooks and crannies for really specific things, you could put together a whole video on, oh, and then if you pull this part of the diaper bag out, it folds out into a play mat. You can do a lot of product education, which helps with sell through. Some of the unique things to your product that are hard to show in store or with just a picture. You can also serve niche markets. Whereas if you opened a dog bow company in your local area, you might only have a number of people who like dog bows in your actual city. But if you bring that to the global market, you now have access to millions of people that are interested in dog bows. So it really expands your market. And of course, we have to touch on the fact that you do have the ability to continue to sell, even if you have to close your physical location. We learned that in 2020, and there are a lot of other reasons that physical locations end up having to close outside of what we experienced this past year. You think of natural disasters, or maybe there's road closures. There's a number of things that could cause you to temporarily have to close your physical location. And so having an online location so that your customers can continue to give you service, regardless of if your doors are open, can really be a benefit to you. All right, so do we have any questions so far? Feel free to drop those in a chat. Again, make sure that you are sending them to me, Megan. We see a question from Greg. Will the slides be recorded? Yes, you will be receiving the slides. There will also be a recording of this webinar. What are some fulfillment centers that are not Amazon? So some of these questions, especially with e-commerce, we won't be diving deep into the specifics of a lot of these. This one is a really great example. There are a lot of fulfillment centers across the board, individual mom and pop distribution centers. It's going to be something that you really have to do a lot of research on your own to find the best distribution center, depending on your need. There are some smaller shops though. I see that Lenny is having an issue with audio. Is anyone else having an issue with the audio breaking on and off? It might be your connection, Lenny. And Osman, yes, the consulting services, the one-on-one consulting services for the SBDC are for US-based companies. All right, so it looks like everyone else is having no trouble with the audio. So Lenny, it might be your computer connection. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. Oops. I'm seeing a lot of questions come through. I'm going to keep going through because some of these are going to get answered through this question. Jeanette, we will not be talking about product sourcing today. We go over product sourcing in our e-commerce intro to e-commerce, or should your shop be online. We go into some of that, but that is something that I would suggest you reach out to your local SBDC about. All right, so let's talk about planning and preparing for your Shopify shop. Now, first off, planning and preparing, the number one thing we need to think about is the cost associated with Shopify. This is not free, but it is relatively low cost. So first off, you have your hosting that is anywhere from $30 a month up to, I believe, well, if you go all the way to Shopify Plus, it's $2,000 a month. So they have, depending on your needs, some of those being a big one is credit card fees. So at higher priced monthly fees, your credit card fees are actually less. And so some of those are most of this decision to move up is based on the volume of sales that you're doing. Shopify does a really good job of reaching out to you when you've reached a breaking point and they say, hey, you would actually save money by jumping to the next tier. So, but getting started, the basic plan offers you absolutely everything you need, from gift cards to your online orders to taking care of shipping. Anything you could need to run a store, that basic plan is going to have for you. The next thing you need to think about is the cost for photography. Now, if you are using, if you're sourcing products or you're using vendors, then a lot of those vendors provide photography for you. But if you are creating your own products or using vendors that don't offer photography, photography is a really big deal with e-commerce. It is how you show your customer what it is that they're buying, and quality is really portrayed through photography. So it's something you want to invest in. It's something that you want to do well. And the better photography, you will see a direct correlation with the better conversions on your store. So think about if it is something that maybe you're a maker and you're making your own thing, then you want to make sure that if you are not a photographer yourself, that you are setting aside some costs to hire a photographer, which can be a few $100s to a few thousand, depending on how many products you're launching. The other thing with Shopify is there are things called apps. So if there is anything specialized that you might need that isn't Shopify out of the box, you might need to have an app associated with it. Maybe you want to do some really robust email marketing. Some of those email marketers, a lot of them are free, but some of them have a monthly fee associated with them as well. So most of the things, Shopify has done a really, really good job of growing. I used to have to go through local delivery used to be something you had to pay for an app to manage for you, or pickups you used to have an app for. Those are both native to Shopify now. So they're absolutely free and they're included with your Shopify platform. And you don't have to pay for those anymore. But so things specialized. So like if you do local deliveries, but you only want to sell on Tuesdays, you only deliver on Tuesdays, or you need to schedule those deliveries, that's going to be something that's going to be an additional cost. So you just want to think about if there's anything outside of the norm, doing your research to see if you're going to require an app. And then, of course, if you want to hire a designer and developer, which I highly suggest if you have the capital, or once you get to the point that you have the capital, this is really, it's something that is of value in the fact that when you hire a professional designer developer that is specialized in e-commerce, what that does is it increases your conversions. So it can be quite pricey. You are typically, for a Shopify store, you are looking at 3,000 plus. You can get as much as 20,000, 50,000, depending on who you're using and how large your site is. A site like Old Navy or something like that is probably going to be $100,000, whereas a smaller mom and pop shop are going to be closer to that $3K. But those costs really pay off in the conversion and making sure that when someone lands on your store, that they stay and they convert to a sale. So something to keep in mind, statistically speaking, is that 60% of people coming to a shop, if they do not have an immediate good user experience or like the design, they're going to leave. Even if they know what they're trying to look for. So your user experience is of value and can really help you get more sales. Let's see. All right, so we have a lot of people on this webinar, so I'm seeing a lot of questions come in, and I am realizing that I'm probably going to miss questions. So I'm going to try my best to address everything in the chat, but they are coming in quite quickly and I'm getting a lot of them. So if I miss your question, I'm really, really sorry. You will be able to connect with a local SBDC advisor from your area. We'll go over that at the end, but I just wanted to apologize in advance. All right. So products. Let's talk about planning and preparing. What products will work on e-commerce? That's the first question you need to think about. So if you have a boutique, the example I say is often at the front of the store, there are these small items that are just kind of things you kind of grab on your way out. Maybe they're chopsticks or something like that. some of the smaller ticket priced items are really hard to create a whole entire store around because of your credit card processing fees. And if your average orders aren't large enough, credit card processing fees can take a 30 cent, or I'm sorry, it's 30 cents, I believe, off the top of my head. I will have to you'll have to fact check me. But if you're selling something and your average sale is $1 and each transaction is 30 cents, it takes 36 cents plus 2% off your transaction. You can see how that could quickly add up. And so you want to think about, okay, what on that side, one, am I selling something that's going to make enough average order? On the flip side, you might be selling furniture, which does really well online. You see that with companies like Wayfair. However, if you don't have the capacity to ship that furniture, that's going to be hard to sell online. So just thinking about, okay, what is going to work online and how is it going to work for me? Is it going to work for me? Is the bottom line there? And can I make enough profit? Can I get this easily shipped? Think about those logistics ahead of time. Next thing to think about, and this is something I see so many people get caught up, is how many products will you launch your shop with? So particularly if you have a brick and mortar boutique, or you have something existing that has a ton of SKUs, like hundreds and hundreds of SKUs, it can be really overwhelming to get those all online. And so I suggest to shops, just start basic, just get something launched. And so if that means if you start with your top 10 best sellers, just so you can get something on, you can go live and continue to add products in. So I encourage you, don't bite off more than you can chew, and launch with a amount of products that doesn't feel overwhelming to you. And then which products you could start with. So that's in the same vein. If you're not going to start with all of your products, then start with your best sellers. Start with the ones you know people are wanting. Start with the ones you know are easy to be shipped. They're not going to be a headache. You don't have to get a box. Maybe it's something that can go into those plastic bags. Those are great places to start if you are not going to put your full inventory online. So there's a question in the chat: is Shopify suitable for custom products that require customer input? Yes. Shopify sorry, she said think Vistaprint and then a proof where the customer would see their product. So Shopify integrates with a bunch of different things such as Printful, where you can upload your designs. If people are uploading individual designs like Vistaprint, I am not familiar with an app that integrates, but that doesn't mean the one that doesn't exist. So you're going to want to look in the App Store. That's a really good example of something that would require an app that's going to have another monthly fee associated with it. There are infinite numbers of apps. And so I would say you can probably find something that helps that use case. But I just have not experienced that particular need from a client before. Okay, so here is one of the things that trips people up the most with Shopify, or stresses people out, I should say, and that's the shipping. Thinking about shipping with e-commerce. Now, here is the great thing is Shopify has figured a lot of this out for you. When we go over to Shopify, I will show you just how great they've done it. But you need to think and prepare. How are you going to account for shipping costs? So there's two ways you can really do that. Either you can do it by weight, or you can do it by set price. And so I highly, highly, highly suggest that you take the time to get your shipping weights because what Shopify can do is you can set up your shipping with the carriers to calculate shipping by weight. That's going to make your shipping costs way more accurate to the customer versus giving them $5 shipping and then they add a bunch of stuff to their cart and it ends up being $7, $10 for shipping. So I highly suggest you do it by weight. You think about also the additional costs that are associated with shipping. You're going to need to buy your boxes or your bags or your mailers, whatever it is that you're going to ship things in. You will have costs associated with that. And so think about that because it is a part of the cost of doing business. The other thing that people are really worried about and have a lot of questions about are your taxes. And of course, and again, I am not a tax professional, so always consult one. But here are some basic things that will help you get an idea of how you need to be thinking about sales tax. So first off, with sales tax, you are always responsible for your sales tax in your home state. So I'm located in California. So I have to, what that means in e-commerce, if I put an e-commerce store out, anybody who also lives in California that purchases through my online shop, I have to charge them sales tax. Now, the great and beautiful thing, and I'll show you right now, is that this is actually native in Shopify. You set your taxes up right here and you can manage. You see right here, it actually defaults to your store address when you set up your store. And so you can put your sales tax ID in here and it will automatically know it needs to charge sales tax to anyone that is purchasing from the state of California. Now they know because they're putting in their shipping address, right? The other thing that you need to think about, though, is that you might be responsible in other states. And so this is where you really want to make sure that you contact a tax professional, because if you have a location in another state, maybe you're a boutique that has a bunch of shops, you know, particularly in the Northeast, I feel like all those states are so close together that you might have two locations that might be down the road from each other and they're in different states. If your warehouse is in a different state, if you have any inventory in a different state, you may be responsible for, sorry, this is the same information, better laid out. You may be responsible to sales tax in the state that your other location, warehouse, or inventory is in. If you have personnel living or working in a state, you might be responsible for that state's taxes or sales tax. If you have any affiliates that market your e-commerce store, you may be responsible for the state taxes that they in the state they live in. If you attend a trade show there, or if you exceed a minimum sales in a state. So some states have a minimum, they say if you sell over $1 million of product in the state of Kentucky, this is not real, this is a fake example. Kentucky might say, you sell a lot of stuff here, so we consider you in business in the state of Kentucky. Now, the thing to understand is that these are state mandated laws, so it's not a federal thing, which means you need to, again, consult a tax professional so that you know what is the minimum amount of sales that you can accept via e-commerce in Florida before you start having to pay Florida taxes. So is there Shopify in Canada? Yes, Shopify is a global company. We are located in the United States, and I'm not familiar with laws or shipping outside of the United States. And so definitely anything that would be regionally specific for anyone that is not on the United States, I won't be able to answer those questions. But this is a global company and has a lot of awesome features for serving globally. There's translation features in Shopify and all kinds of stuff. So yes, but as far as taxes go, so if you are on that vein, if you're in a different country, you want to make sure that you know what the laws are in your country and that you have things set up appropriately. All right, so we've talked a little bit about photography. You really have to have photography for your website. Nobody's going to buy something sight unseen and not have any clue what it is that they're purchasing. And so either get your photography from vendors, hire a photographer, but there is a little cheat. If you go on Fiverr or Upwork, you can actually take your own photography and they can, you can hire someone, and I don't have any recommendations for anyone specific, but as a way to get some higher quality photos, if you don't have a large budget, is you can take your product photos, send them off to someone on Fiverr or Upwork, and they can actually put them on a white background for you and edit those photos for you, so that even if you can't hire a full photographer, you can get some photos edited for a relatively low price. So that's a little hack to get some better photos on your store. Okay, I'm going to stop real quick for questions. This is the most intensive part of this webinar, so I'm just going to check the chat real quick before moving on to our next topics. See, how do we find a designer and developer? So there are a lot of Facebook groups for freelancers. You can check Upwork is a great place to check things. Facebook groups, there are a ton of freelance specific, women helping women entrepreneurs. All the ones I think of are always women related. But there's a lot of Facebook groups. You can find LinkedIn groups. You can job post on LinkedIn, or you can job post on Facebook or Indeed to find a designer and developer. But I highly suggest, if they're a developer, they better have Shopify experience. Shopify has their own framework. It's called Liquid. And the developer really needs to know how that works. If they do not have a deep understanding of Shopify, it is very different than other platforms. And then I highly suggest that you make sure your designer has e-commerce experience, specifically in conversion optimization, to make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck. You will have access to these recordings after the workshop. Are you able to sell alcoholic beverages online? So that is an ever-changing market and something you would definitely need to contact a lawyer about. In short, yes, people are selling alcohol online. As far as what licenses are required and how that works with USPS, you would have to, I would imagine that would be a lawyer that you would talk to make sure that you are in compliance. All right, we are going to keep going. Oh, sorry, let me turn on my do not disturb real quick. Sorry, I did not do that before. Oh, apparently I don't know how to turn that. I just updated the new Mac and I can't figure it out. So I'm sorry if there's anything else that comes through. Okay, so let's talk briefly about your domain. If you don't have a domain, and your domain, for those of you who aren't familiar with that terminology, that is the URL that people type in to get to your site. So google.com, facebook.com, that's a domain. So if you don't have one, you can actually purchase one through Shopify, or you can purchase through a lot of other providers. GoDaddy is a popular one. I like Namecheap a lot because it's cheap, and I'm a little bit cheap. And there's infinite number of domain providers out there. So you can do your research on that. But when thinking about your domain, think about the most important things are what you're choosing your domain to be. So first off, I really encourage that you use a .com. If you use anything other than a .com, and this is speaking from experience because I have a company that's actually a .co. If you experience, or if you have anything other, people often end up putting a .com. They're so used to .coms that they put in .com and they're going, I can't find your website. It's just a headache. And so I encourage you, if your actual business name is taken on a .com, think of something creative. Maybe let's say your business name is, I don't know, Pink Peonies, and that's taken. pinkpeonies.com is taken. So shop Pink Peonies, check that, or Pink Peonies Boutique, or something to that effect. So, or maybe you're located in a specific state. So Pink Peonies, California, or by location. Get creative, but I would highly suggest that you try to find something that works with that .com that has your business name in it. Another tip is the shorter the better. And so when thinking about if you have to get creative, how can you keep things short? Often like a shop or a one-word add-on is the best way to keep it short with your business name. Also avoid unusual spellings. People are tempted to say if your business is, I don't know, bows for cats, and that's taken, .com is taken. You might be tempted to do bows with a Z, the number 4, and then cats with a Z. The problem is, while that's creative and it's a creative way around and it keeps things really short, again, you have problems with people hearing your domain, trying to type it in or trying to remember it, and they're going to misspell it. And so if you can avoid unusual spellings, now if your business name has an unusual spelling, that's fine. Absolutely use that, stay with your business name. But if you're trying to change things for the domain, do avoid those unusual spellings because people will often not be able to find your site. And then avoiding hyphens. That's another thing that's really hard. Even if you have it printed, unusual spellings and hyphens, you could have it printed right there. You can hand them your business card and they're going to mistype it every time. So that's just something that comes from experience. Do I use different domain from one I'm using for my website? So your Shopify is your website. It is not only your store, it has a whole homepage. And so if you're even a service provider that has things that can be purchased, I suggest you move your whole entire website over to Shopify rather than having a split website, part of it on WordPress and part of it on Shopify, which can cause some user experience issues. Shopify is your whole entire website. So it can have your homepage, your about page, your services page, as well as your actual shop. All right. Is there any other questions related to domains? Right. So let's talk briefly. When you're planning and preparing for your e-commerce store, you want to think about your go-to-market strategy. Now, this is not something that we're going to go delve into, and so I won't be answering questions around this, but I do want you to be aware. Think about your social media plan, think about your email marketing plan, think about your Google Ads plan, your SEO plan, which is search engine optimization. Think about how you're going to actually get people to know that your site exists. So this is something that's a really good use case for those of you located in America. If you have one-on-one marketing or one-on-one marketing advice is available through your local SBDC. And so this is a great thing to connect with your local SBDC to get together a marketing plan that is specific to you. Yeah, so I highly suggest you take advantage of that, but think about it, because my favorite thing to say is if you build it, they will not come unless you tell them to come. And so it's important as you're thinking about getting online that you have a plan in place of how you're going to let people know that you're online. All right, so from that section, before we jump straight onto Shopify, are there any questions that you have, any lingering questions before we move on? So I see a question about PayPal. So PayPal is actually integrated with Shopify along with a bunch of other payment options. So Shopify has credit card payments. You can link with PayPal. You can link with Amazon Pay. You can link with Google Pay. You can link with Klarna, which is like Klarna or ShopPay, or what's the other one? Afterpay, which are those things you're seeing a lot where it says you can purchase this now or for $24 a month for the next 4 months. So there are tons and tons and tons of payment processors that integrate seamlessly into Shopify. Is it easy to change your business address in Shopify if you move to another state? Absolutely. Super easy. What's the cost to shop with Shopify? Again, it depends. But $30 for hosting is your absolute, plus your cost for your domain name, which is approximately $10, is your absolute minimum cost. and then because Shopify does have base themes that you can use, which we'll go into, but then it can go up from there. Again, you can start with as little as probably $50, but and that's, sorry, that $30 fee is monthly, but so you can start with very little, but you can also spend $100,000 on a Shopify site. It's really depends on what you're trying to do and how fast you're trying to scale. Is the Canadian Shopify also under the SBDC? Okay, sorry, Beatrice. To be clear, the SBDC as a program in America is not, and it does not have any relation to Shopify. So Shopify is a for-profit company. We're just a nonprofit that provides training. Is Bitcoins available as currency for Shopify? Probably through a third party. So there's a lot of third party integrations. For those of you asking, for anyone that are located in area outside of the Northern California area, we will at the end of this webinar go through how you can get in contact with your local SBDC. Oh. All right. So let's go ahead and get over to Shopify itself. Okay, so, oh, sorry, I already had pulled up. Okay, this is the Shopify dashboard. This is the first thing you'll see. It tries its best to put at the top of it what it thinks you want to see, but you aren't going to live here. Where you're going to live mostly is over on this left-hand side. So the first thing that we want to walk through is your online store. So again, as I mentioned, Shopify is a full website. So let me just pull up the sample store. It's very, very empty. This is not a real shop, but it has the full website. So this is empty. Let's look at a couple other stores that I know are on Shopify. Right, so these are all Shopify stores, and you'll see there is a lot of difference in the style of each of these stores. So this one's a Shopify store for a jewelry company. It's actually another jewelry company, but you'll notice it looks a lot different. And then this is an artist that's on Shopify. So Shopify is really your full website. And then within your website, you have your actual shop where you have your products available. People can shop your products. They can add your products to the cart and check out and go through that process. But it has everything you need within it to set up a full website. So straight out of the box, Shopify uses a theme called Dawn. There is a lot of flexibility to these themes, and it's a beautiful theme. And so you can come in here and immediately start plugging and playing to get yourself online. Or you can come down here. Shopify has a store of all of their free themes, which there is quite a few, or I'm sorry, there are only a few options for their actual free themes that you can use and find one that you like the best. Of course, with e-commerce, photography, again, is a really big deal, and it dictates a lot of the style. And so choosing one of these free themes with putting in great photography can be a really cheap and easy way to get a site up. And then there's also the Shopify theme store. So this is their premium themes where you can buy a theme for low cost. They're typically around $180, and you can look through, you can see like this one right here. It's a little more, if I view the demo store, it's a little more interesting as video background capabilities for one. There's this crazy weird menu over here. It has this overlying images. So the paid themes are a little bit more stylistically built out. And then you could, of course, hire your own designer and developer to craft something that is perfectly unique to you and exactly what you want it to be. Okay. All right, so once you have selected your theme, if you come down here, we go into online stores and themes. We'll just start with the basic Shopify store. Where you will live is right here under custom. Now, Shopify has made it super, super easy for you to edit your own website, and you don't need designer skills, you don't need developer skills. It's super plug and play, and it's really hard to break a Shopify site. Some of the other builders out there, you can accidentally mess up the design, but Shopify has made it super straightforward that you can really edit this to your own liking. So if you come in here, how this is organized over here is where you will edit things. So you'll see there's a little section set up for each part on your page. Each theme has different sections that are included in the theme. So you can set up different sections, you can add sections in and really build out your homepage. You can do the same thing on your subpages. So if you wanted to build out an about page or anything like that. And it's really easy. So if you see right here, we just input this image with text. If you click heading, we can just edit this here. And you can see it goes seamlessly right over here into the actual website. Oh, sorry, I didn't save that. That would be helpful. All right. Text, we have this text block. So you can see, again, it's organized just by each of the individual elements within this section. So the text, this is all editable. And you have some basic handling of what you can do. If you want to bold certain words, if you want to italicize, if we need to make this a hyperlink. Each block is going to be built out depending on the theme and depending on the options available. But you do have flexibility to change almost everything in here. And then, of course, we can select our image. Shopify does actually have some free images available if you need some stock photography. It's a really great way to get your store looking good. Like, let's say we're a coffee shop. We can just use this generic coffee bean photo for our homepage. Or you can, of course, upload your own photos. So those are kind of the basic tools you have. Again, each theme is going to be really different in what is offered here, but they're going to be organized the same. So you're going to have this section, which is your image manager, featured collections, image with text, which directly correlates to what you see on the site. So this section would be your image banner. So it's an image background with some text over top of it. This section would be your featured product section, and it stacks in the order that you see over here. So if we were to say drag and drop this above the image banner, now our featured products is the first thing on the page and our image banner is below that. Again, you can add your sections if you want to add a email sign up form and edit things within each thing. So you'll see with this email sign up section, we have the heading, which associates with that. And again, these are all in order. You have your subheading, which is right here, and you have your email form, which is right here. And so this one doesn't have any customization available, but any customization available within these, you'll be able to click on and edit those things specific to that, all while keeping the overall design intact, which is really makes Shopify really powerful for DIYers. Once you're ready to save what you've worked on, you'll click save. Now, again, this is really just an overview. And so we aren't going to go any deeper into the design of Shopify. I just wanted to show you really how this works, where you're going to go, so that if you want to DIY your own Shopify site, this is where you're going to go to get started, to put in your own copy and to make that theme unique to what you're doing. So I'm going to go back to the questions. If you have any other questions so far, let's see. Oh, Jeffrey said that we were not able to see your screen. Were you all having the issue with not being able to see Shopify? Can you let me know in the chat? Okay, everyone else was able to see it. All right, great. Okay, so Jeffrey, I'm not sure if what was going on with your view, but if you would like to message maybe Emily or David, or maybe both of them, to see if they can maybe help you troubleshoot. So Jeanette asks if there's any certain image sizing that Shopify needs, and if so, what do you find the requirement? Okay, so yes, in that there's a maximum file size that you can upload to Shopify. I think it's 5 megabytes, which is pretty standard for websites before it yells at you. Your photographer will probably send you huge image sizes, and so ask your photographers for a web safe version. I typically say 2,000 pixels wide is the biggest photo you want to put on a website. But there are ways to optimize your photo sizes. If you work with a designer and developer, it's a lot based on how your site is designed, but you can work with someone who can optimize your images for your specific site. What that can do is speed up your web speed, which helps with SEO, and it makes Google happy and all kinds of other things. But in short, 2,000 pixels wide is as big of a file as you want to upload. And the smaller the file size, as a general rule of thumb, the better, because it loads faster and speed matters when it comes to e-commerce.
That's how she'll let that shit slide for the month.
Oh, I think
she'll let that shit slide for the month.
We have someone unmuted here. Hold on one second.
Amanda, you are talking right now. Did you have a question?
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
All right. So do you need a domain and a Shopify account that will interface? So actually, technically, you do not need a domain at all. Shopify comes with a myshopify.com account name. Using an actual domain, though, will give you a trust factor, and I highly suggest you do, because they're cheap. They're $10 a year. People sometimes don't trust shops that are not using a unique domain. It's definitely like a security thing. People and users feel safer if they're seeing a unique domain, especially if that domain is a .com. But all domains will be able to be used on Shopify. So no matter where you purchase your domain, there is something called a DNS record. Your domain host should be able to walk you through that. Most of them offer DNS setup that you can actually connect it straight to your Shopify. Now, domains are super, super technical. They're very, very old tech. And so we won't get too into it, but reach out to your domain provider, wherever you purchased your domain, and they can help you set up. Also, Shopify support is amazing. And so if your domain partner is just ruining your day and they won't help you, go to Shopify support and they should be able to help you get your domain connected. So yeah, so blogs. So that is one thing we are about to go over, but we'll go ahead and hit that since there's a question. So some things that are built into Shopify as far as building out your actual website are blog posts. So you can create a blog post in a blog. If you come in and you create a blog post, all of the information is here. Now, Shopify is not a blogging platform. And so you really have this block that inserts into your theme, and each theme is designed out differently. to handle these blocks, but this is the information that you have for a block. So it's not super designed out, if that makes sense. But it's also really great for SEO. So you have the ability to put in a featured image. Let me see, I downloaded a couple images for this that you can input into your blog, and excerpt. So some of the things that you would see on like WordPress are here, and you have some ability to change SEO. You also have the ability with Shopify, which I think is kind of cool. You can set up multiple blogs. So if you, and manage your comments, but if you wanted to set up multiple blogs, you can come here. News is the blog by default. You could name it whatever you wanted, but you can also add a blog in. This is another blog, and save, and then you can actually put your blogs in by whichever blog it is associated with. This is a really good use case, like if you have a podcast and you want all your podcast show notes to be on one page, and you want to have a blog as well, and you want that to be separated. It can be a great way to show people. I'm just gonna make this visible real quick. So you can see right here, you can now select between news and another blog. And if I view this on the store, this is not super beautiful. That photo is definitely too big for this particular theme. But if I show you here, you can see this is the actual blog page. And as you, depending on the theme that you're working with, you would just want to set up your blog images appropriately. All right. So another thing you have right here is your actual pages. So you can set up by default, it's going to give you a contact page. And you'll see there's two options, default page or contact page in most themes. Some themes under this theme template have an about page, or they have a services page, but most come with just the plain page and the contact. And so you can see here's a contact page right here already for you. It's nothing crazy. Keep in mind, this is a free theme and it's the basic theme because we haven't updated to a chosen theme. But you can also come in here and add, let's say we want to add an about page. We can save that. And this is an empty page. But here's some text. And you can view a basic page. The next thing in your online store that's really important that you know where it is your navigation. So this is not within your customizer where we were before. It's right here. And you can edit your footer and navigation directly in here. So this is where you would come to add or edit or remove menu items. It's super easy to add them in. You just give them a name and you link it. What's really great, I love this about Shopify, is it makes it super easy to link things. So if you wanted to link a specific product, you can come directly to that product, or maybe a specific collection that's probably more frequent. And you can just save that, and it's going to automatically, if we go to this online store, you'll now see, the menu does take a couple of minutes to update, but once it updates, you will see a name link in the menu up here. So we'll just give that some time. All right, this online store section is also where you will come to connect a domain. You can buy a domain here if you do not already have one. If you're not technical, I highly suggest that you just buy it through Shopify because you don't have to worry about connecting it. If you are technical or you're and you want a cheaper domain, you can connect an existing domain here. Or if you own a domain somewhere else and you want Shopify to own it and you want to pay Shopify instead and not have to worry about connecting, you can also transfer your domain. But typically, either buy it here or just connect your existing domain. And again, your domain provider will help you with that option. All right. Does your company offer a version of Shopify which was recommended for non-e-commerce sites? I do not recommend Shopify for non-e-commerce. Now, well, let me explain this. First off, e-commerce is everything. So services is e-commerce. If you are selling services online, that's e-commerce. But if you don't have a shop, I would not suggest Shopify. Shopify is built, as you see over here, to manage these products, to manage your orders, to manage your customers and how much they've spent, to be able to set up discounts. It's set up for being able to purchase things online. If you do not need to sell things online, like have people actually sell them. Now, if you have services you want to sell online, Shopify works. If you want them to be able to, like even booking a consultation, there's apps that you can have them, they integrate seamlessly in Shopify and they can purchase through Shopify different services. Or if you have digital downloads, you can do that through Shopify. But if they're not going to be paying online, or if you're going to invoice them through something else, Shopify probably is not a good fit for you. I would look at something like Squarespace or WordPress or Wix or something that is really built more for service-based businesses. What kind of information in what format can you get from Shopify for accounting and tax purposes? So depending on what you use for your accounting software, there are integrations. So there are apps that integrate to most of your major accounting and POS systems. So that's pretty nice. Then there's also this analytics section where you can run reports, and there are infinite number of reports you can run. You can run all kinds of custom reports here where you can get your sales. I think the most common one that people are going to run is their sales report over typically on your quarterly basis, so that you can have a one quick look at what you owe in your sales taxes to what states. So that's the most common one, but there is a whole lot. We don't have time to get into just how robust these analytics are, but you can see just by this brief overview, there's a lot of different buckets that you can look into. And within that, you can actually edit your columns. And there are so many options just in the sales report alone that you can add to a column and run your own reports, and these export out as CSVs that you can view in Excel or in numbers. That's the math one, right? All right. Can you find Shopify stores to look at in your industry? Okay, this is a great question. There is an amazing tool called Built With. And Built With, what you can do is you can look up what technology a website is built on. So find a competitor website. I know this one's built on Shopify, so we're just going to use this. And if you put it in, we're going to click lookup, and you can see they're using Loyalty Lion, they're using Klaviyo. So this is, they have a loyalty program. Well, and this is the app that they're using. They use this for their email marketing. So if you have a brand that you're signed up for their email list and you like their email marketing, you might be able to figure out what company they're using. And then if you scroll all the way down here, you can see all kinds of things. Snapit, that's what they're using for their Instagram feed. And it shows you right here. Let's use their shop your Instagram feed. This is their chat system. And you can see right down here, e-commerce built on Shopify. So you can go to your competitors and say, I really love this site, plug it in, and it'll show you what it's built on. All right, so let's keep on going with our Shopify tour. All right, the next thing that we want to go over is products. So this is going to be your bread and butter. This is one of the things that makes Shopify so great and why we even are going to use Shopify versus another option. Shopify can handle tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of products. Other websites are, not to knock Squarespace or WordPress, those are also options for e-commerce, but both of those were not built with e-commerce in mind. Shopify was built with e-commerce in mind. They were only thinking about e-commerce. They weren't thinking about how to put a blog together. They weren't thinking about getting you online fast. They were thinking, what tools do e-commerce people need? And so they, along with some other e-commerce platforms, really have the most robust options as far as product organization. So you'll see here, I just uploaded some basic products. If we click into one of these, this is what a product page looks like. To create a product, you have a place for their title. Let me just open up their product page so you can see, oops, not export, so that you can preview while we go through these. So your title is going to show up right here. And again, this is theme based. So each product page is going to look different depending on the theme you selected. You have your description. This again shows up live. In this theme, it's right here. You have your images that you can add in. You have your pricing. You can opt to charge taxes on this product. You might not charge taxes if it's a digital product, for example, or a service that you don't have to charge taxes on. You might need to unselect that. You can keep track of your cost per item. So that's something as far as reports go, that if you have your retail price, you can actually keep track of your cost per goods sold right here in Shopify. Your inventory, so you have your SKUs, and your barcodes. If your items have either of those, you can tell Shopify to track your quantity, so it can actually keep track of your inventory. And now, as we talk about keeping track of your quantity and inventory, for those of you who have brick and mortar stores, there are a lot of options out there. The one that works with a lot of platforms is something called stock sync, that you can actually sync your stock from your inventory, your in-store POS system to Shopify, so that they keep up with each other. You can continue selling when out of stock. There's so many options. Shipping is a big one. This is where you're going to put in your weights, so that again, you can easily calculate shipping. So let's say something is 12 ounces. I would just put that in there. What that's going to do on the back end, if I set my shipping up to calculate by weight, then it's going to tell USPS, hey, someone wants to buy this and it weighs this much, and what do you want to charge them in shipping, so that your customers are actually paying the cost, and you're not losing money on shipping. You can set up variants. That's the other thing that's here. So if you have sizes, extra small, small, medium. The one thing with variants, it's a little bit of caveat with Shopify. If you have multiple variants, you want to set them up all at once, because if we come in here and we click save, it is really hard with how this is set up to come in here and add options. If you'll see here, material, let's do denim, but it only lets me add that one. If I needed to add more, I would have to do a super manual process that it's often faster just to delete your product and redo. So think about that when you're setting up your products, what all of the variants would be on a product. So I'm going to stop for questions, because this is a lot of information, because again, products and product organization, really the bread and butter of Shopify. Jeanette, can you clarify your question? It says, does it show the theme? Oh, sorry, I understand. It's a follow-up from your first question. So does build with show the theme? I don't believe so. Let me put, I mean, we can test it right here, because I know that this one, I know that Dylan Lex is a custom theme, so that definitely wouldn't show up, but let's check this one that I know is built with one of the Shopify basic themes. And it does not look like, it shows the theme. Now, there are ways to find the theme, but it is deep in the code, and so would need someone that's familiar with code to be able to dig into how to find that theme, or you might be able to reach out to Shopify and see if they would be willing to look it up for you. Again, Shopify support is super, super helpful. All right. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions in the queue right now. So I will go on to product organization. So organization is, like, I cannot stress the importance of this enough. This is how people are shopping your store. If your products are not organized and they cannot maneuver their way around their store to find what they're looking for, it really costs you in sales. So some of these are obvious: product type, search, shirt, vendor. I don't know. Yeah, we'll use Nike. Those are obvious, right? What's the product type? What's the vendor? Now you can get even more specific with tags. So if it's a women's shirt, this is tagged as women. Maybe we want to make a summer collection and we want to tag it as summer. Let me show you why these are important and powerful. What you think about, actually, let me pull up this one. I love this as an example. I think it's a really well organized boutique. Under clothing, she has so many different places that you can click. What's new? She has all of these different collections you can go into: lifestyle, loungewear sets, tanks, tops, all of the different types of tops, outerwear, all of the different, right? You get the idea. Fall preview is a very different collection than tees, right? If you open these up, you're going to see all of these different items. They're all related to fall, right? If I want to shop to fall, I can come to this, I can shop the fall looks. If I want a t-shirt, I can look through all of their t-shirts. They're all going to be right here. These are called collections, and they are the strongest organizational factor in Shopify. So to copy this fall preview, we just tag that with summer. So let's call it summer collection. This is why tags are so, so important. Tag your products, tag your products, tag your products. Because if I want to come in here, I create a summer collection, I can come in here, automatic, product tag is equal to summer. And I save. And what will happen is you'll see right here, it pops up automatically. Black leather bag, the one that I tagged with summer, is going to show up in my summer collection. I don't have to do anything crazy. I can then go to my navigation and I can put summer collection, summer, or let's say shop summer. Go into collections, choose that summer collection, click add, click save. And now people are able to go to my online store. Again, the menu takes forever to update. Oh, that one didn't take as long. Shop summer's right there. They can click in and it's going to populate anything that I tag with summer as I put these products in. So that is really the power of products and why you need to be tagging them and organizing them. It makes it super, super shoppable. You can tell with this website, I know exactly where I need to go. I can go to kitchen. I know if I'm looking for a wine glass, I can look right there. It's very well organized, and collections and product tags are really the power behind that. So as another example, let's go back into collections. There are a few different things you can do. One, you can create a manual select collection. So if you wanted to come in here and do a fall selection, you could come in here and we could search our products and we can add all the ones we want to the fall collection manually. So that is another way. That gets really complicated as stores get big. I think it's fine for something like your summer edit or your fall collection, where it's kind of an edited, curated collection. But when you're talking about something that is every t-shirt, you don't want to have to go put in all your t-shirts into your products and then turn around and go and manually put all your t-shirts. You want to be able to create a collection, say t-shirts, automated, choose one of these, whether it's product type, like t-shirts would probably be your product type, say is equal to shirt, save it. And then that way, for perpetuity, every time I add a product type of shirt, it's going to add directly to this. Now that's a bad example because I made the product type of a bag a shirt, but you get the idea. There is some logic that you can do as well. All conditions or any conditions. This is often clients who are like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to add this and it's not showing up in my automated collection. It's often because they have two of these. So like product type is equal to shirt, or maybe they want like it's also equal to long sleeve. And they're saying, my short sleeve shirts aren't showing up in my shirt collection. And it's because you have all collections selected. And so the logic that this is doing is it's looking for any product that is both a shirt and a long sleeve, which a product can't even have two product types. So it's not even possible. But if we switch to any condition, it's looking for if the product type is shirt or the product type is long sleeve. So you'll see this pops back up again because it is one or the other. So that's something to pay attention to when going about organizing your collections. But again, that is like if you spend any time anywhere making sure that something is really set on your site outside of your photography, which is going to be number one important, your organization of your site and making sure that it is really easy for users to navigate is where you're going to see the most ROI. All right, let's go back to these questions. How did you add summer collection to the navigation bar again? So your navigation is just under online store and navigation. And you just add through this. Now, you can add menu items here. This will be available so you can review any of this as you're going. And then Shopify has really, really great documentation. So it is so widely used that if you Google how to add something to a Shopify navigation bar, Shopify's documentation and tutorials are so well done that you're going to be able to find that information. So definitely, when in doubt, if you can't figure something out, Google or contact Shopify support, because again, they're super, super helpful. And we'll walk you through how to do anything you can't figure out on your own. All right, do we have any other questions right now? What paid themes would you recommend for a fashion accessory store? So I don't have anything personally that I would recommend. I delve in custom Shopify themes. So I have actually, I rarely use the paid themes with my personal clients. But what you want to look at is like, what is really something that fits your brand. And so when you're looking at those themes, something that fits the look and feel you're going for. And then there's a couple things that I would highly suggest you make sure a theme has that not every theme has, and I don't know why. One, a pop-up checkout cart. Let me show you. No, this one has one. Pop-up checkout would be not this. This is obviously a pop-up. Oh, they've added. But when I click add to cart, it pops up over here and people can view and they can click checkout. So this is actually it is a Shopify custom theme. I'm sorry, it is a Shopify paid theme that I know this site is using, but I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's called Emerge. There's a lot of themes, but look for a pop-up checkout. So when you add to cart, that it pops up over to the side, that can increase conversions. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you want to make sure you look for in your custom themes. Yeah, that's really the one main thing that definitely will help increase conversions, that it drives me crazy when I don't see it on a theme. All right. Okay, so we've talked a lot about your store, how to get your design set up, how to get your products set up. And then the last main thing that we're going to talk about, if we have time, I'll go into some of the nitty gritties and just give you a quick tour of everything else that Shopify has to offer. But the next main thing that you need to know in order to have a Shopify site that works is your orders. So how do you manage orders? So when someone comes to your site and they check out, so they add something to their cart, we'll just do it real quick. Add to cart. Look at that. Look at that nice pop-up. View cart. Checkout. Okay, we won't go through that whole process, but when they go through that process, they put in their name, they put in their shipping address. It's going to bring them here. So you'll see it, or I'm sorry, it will show up here for you. So once they have paid, it shows up here for you as an order that is ready to be fulfilled. You can see right here, unfulfilled orders, 1. So if we click into this order, and I'm actually going to show you a site that's hooked up already. If you click into this order, you can click right here to create your shipping label. This is, you can use your own shipping labels. You don't have to use Shopify, but it makes it super, super easy. And again, remember, if you input your shipping to calculate based on weight, not flat rate, then Shopify's already charged according to their pricing, and it just makes everything so simple. But this is where you can input things. You can input your package type, or you can add a package type right here. So say, oh, I'm not sending this in a box, I'm sending it in a mailer. You can add the information again so that it calculates shipping correctly. If you need to update the weight, you can do that here. And then in this case, this was a draft order that was put in. Typically, your order would come in and the client would have already selected that they wanted UPS second day air, if that was an option on your site. And so it would only give you the option that the client has already paid for. But in this case, this was a draft order that had not pre-selected shipping. I'm sorry, to explain what a draft order is, it means that I manually input it. So drafts are right here under orders. You can actually create an order right here. So say someone calls you on the phone, this is where you would come. You would say, type in your whatever it is that they're wanting to purchase from you, add it to the order. Always make sure you add shipping, otherwise it's not going to give you the option to ship it unless they're in store and you don't need to ship it. And add tax if they're in your state, and then mark as paid, or send an invoice. You can email them an invoice. It's really great. Create an order. And again, you'll see that just popped up right there. So that's what that's what a draft order is. You'll see this actually doesn't give us a shipping ability, and that's because we did not provide a shipping address. Let's go back to the one that I did correctly. So we create our shipping label, select your option, and then you just click buy shipping label. I'm not going to do that right now, but what it does is it just automatically gives you a file that you can print out and tape onto your package. Or if you want to buy the sticky paper, you can do that, stick it on. That's the easiest way. You can print your packing slip right here as well and ship it off to the customer. It also automatically puts your tracking in. So that's super, super right now. A question I get a lot is, what about third-party shippers like Pirate Ship or things like that? that is an app. And so you can actually integrate with third-party shippers and use their pricing, and it will integrate with your store. You just need to look up whatever you want to use, see if they have an app. Sometimes they don't have an app, but they still have a Shopify integration. And so sometimes you should, if you don't see an app in the App Store, and I've talked a lot about apps, so let's click this real quick. Apps right here. Oops, sorry, let me go back to this one. Apps. Oh, they changed the wording of that button. Customize store. It's going to make me sign in again. Sorry, one second. Well, this used to say add apps. Anyways, once we get to the Shopify App Store, here we go. Search apps. Pirate Ship. You can search apps right here. You'll see Pirate Ship has one. There's also a lot of other shipping ones that I don't. I personally prefer to use Shopify's native shipping stuff. But if you wanted to use these, some of them have better rates or comparable rates, and Pirate Ship is the one that gets asked about a lot. But if you didn't see it here, like let's say we didn't see Pirate Ship right here, what I would always suggest, because there's a lot of companies that have custom apps that are not in the App Store. And so I always suggest, if you have something that you want to integrate into Shopify, contact their customer support and ask them if they have a custom app, if they have an integration for Shopify, because just because they're not in the App Store doesn't mean that they don't have a Shopify app. All right, any comments on how Shopify supports drop shipping? Great question. Yeah, I do have comments. They integrate directly with many drop shippers. So I'm assuming it depends on what you mean by drop shipping. That means a lot of things. One, you have your drop shipping as in the print on demand drop shipping. That's the one that always comes to mind. If you're doing drop shipping from a warehouse, your warehouse is typically not going to be here. I don't know that. I don't know about Amazon FBA if they have a drop ship direct thing. Oh, yeah, I guess they do. Anyways, you know, but Amazon FBA is what I think of when I think of drop shipping, but there's tons of different warehouses that will do drop shipping for you. Most of the warehouses have their own unique custom app, and they're not going to be something that you find here, but the warehouses will let you know what their app is, and you'll install it in the store, and Shopify will just connect directly with their systems, and you'll just talk to whatever drop shipper that you are using. But 99% of the time, the dropshipper does have a custom Shopify app because Shopify is really one of the top dogs here, and so dropshippers have by and large created their own apps to account for that. Is there a built-in mechanism to let shoppers know that you're gone on vacation and won't be able to fulfill orders until a certain date? So typically the use case is I like to put in a notification in just all over your site. So I'll see a lot of shops where they will just they'll take down their whole homepage for a season, and they'll just put up the homepage, and all it says is, hey, I'm currently on vacation. Orders will be fulfilled by a certain date. So you'll see that a lot. Sometimes they'll leave it all up, and you can put a note on your product page that the shop is currently closed. You can put it in your email notifications, which is probably a good thing to show you guys where it is at under your settings, notifications. These are notifications that go to your customer. So not notifications to you, but like your order confirmation, you can come in here. Now this looks scary, but you can come in here and find the capture email body. Hi customer, first name, we're getting your order ready to be shipped. And you can just change it there. Or instead of this, you can say, we're currently on vacation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is most common with handmade shops. But yeah, so it just depends on kind of where you want to put it. I often say over communicate when it comes to that kind of thing. So let them know on your homepage, let them know on the product page, let them know on the cart page, let them know on the order confirmation page. Let's see. All right, I think that's all the questions in the chat for now. Let me remind myself. All right, so this is a 2-hour webinar, so we have a little bit more time. I'm just gonna go through a brief overview of everything else we haven't covered. If there are any questions in the meantime, drop them in the chat. We'll use these 30 minutes for questions, and in between questions, I'll just give you a tour of some of the other little tidbits. Can you set up a specific product to only have one shipment method? For example, paper clips must ship UPS next day air. Yes, let's go ahead and take a little tour of shipping. So if you go under your settings, shipping and delivery, this is where you can set up local pickup. So, and you can do that, manage local pickup by certain products, manage local delivery, only delivering certain products locally. And then most of you will live right here, manage rates. And this is your general shipping. First off, general profile. If I want to charge different rates for only certain products, create a new profile and shipping settings. So this is actually new. Shopify just made a major update. And it changed a lot of things. Oh, there it is, right there. Create a new profile. So you can come in here, certain products, add products, and then come in and create your shipping zones. So that is typically if you are in America, and again, I know the most about America. So you're typically are going to have your United States zone, and you're going to have, oops, sorry, then you can set up your rates. So add rates, you can set up your own rates. So this is the flat pricing, or you can also do based on order price. If they do $200, the pricing is $0. That's a great use for your set rates if you want to offer that free shipping on a certain order number. But the best is use carrier app calculator rates. If you are using an app like Pirate Ship, it will populate a little widget here. And you can give them USPS. You can select if you only want to offer first class and priority, for example. I don't suggest you offer them everything. It can be quite overwhelming. So pick a few options. Plus some of them like Priority Express, I think is 2-day shipping. So decide if you want USPS 2-day shipping or if you want UPS 2-day shipping. You can kind of make those decisions. But that's how you set up those rates. And then this is all of your calculated by weight rates. So, and then that would only apply to the black leather bag. That would be what is showed to them for that option. This is also where you would manage your general rates. You can, by default, it sets up some flat shipping. And the condition is set up by weight, and $50 and up is automatically marked as free. So you want to make sure you come in and do here and you check your shipping and you make sure that it's set up the way you want it to be set up, and that you delete all these stock ones unless you like them. But I generally don't suggest that you keep these, because again, by weight is going to be best for you. And then $50 is a really low cost for free shipping. So those are all decisions to make yourself. So again, I'm just going to keep giving you guys a little tour of little things, but please, any questions, drop them in the chat, and I am here for the next 20 minutes to answer those questions. Okay, the next thing I would love to go over that I think is super important is sales channels. This is amazing and nobody realizes how great it is. Shopify has sales channels right here that you can add that are integrated already with Shopify. You don't have to worry about them. You can add eBay to your store. You can add Facebook shop to your store. Whoops, I'm not going to do it right now. But let me go back to that. That's under settings and sales channels. So if you also sell on Amazon, you can link, well, they used to have a direct one on Amazon. There is a app that you can connect. But Google, you can, so you see the shop on Google, that's right here, your Facebook shop, that's right there. If you want to connect to Pinterest or shop, that's right there. These are not the only limited ones. There's a lot of other like things that you can sync and see. Don't see a channel that you're interested in, visit the Shopify App Store. What this does is it pushes your products to those sale channels. So I put all my products in Shopify, but if I have added Google as a sales channel, it's going to show them up like, I don't know, just shop dresses. Show you guys what I'm talking about right here. This Google Shop section, it's going to automatically push your products to Google so that Google knows to like show them to people in the Google Shop. And you don't have to then upload to Shopify and upload to Google. You just simply add the sales channel. Let's add the POS. So Shopify does have their own POS, which is your in-store. If you like want a POS system for your store, or if you go to like a market and you don't have a brick and mortar, but you go to a trade show, you can use Shopify and you don't have to set up another POS. They have an app. They just, and they have a little credit card reader that you can hook in. But if you have this both set in, I just want to show you on the product level what it looks like. I can go in here and you'll see my product status is active. And if I click here next to sales channels, I can manage. It's by default on both. I can remove it from point of sale if I'm not selling it in store, or I can move it online if I'm only selling it in store. So if I wanted to only have certain things going through to eBay, I would, you can check and uncheck per product. All right, still not seeing any new questions. So I'm just going to keep
Megan?
Yeah.
If I can just jump in for a second, you're at the Q&A part, and this is when really people can take advantage of this one-to-one tutoring. I am going to put in a chat a link to our survey, and I just want to let people know how important it is for them to complete the survey for us so we can explain to our funders the great way we're spending their money. And I also wanted people to understand that when they click on that link, it's going to open an additional window, and they can then complete the survey after your webinar is done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linda. All right, let's see. Okay, gift cards. This is another big thing that people often have a lot of questions on. So gift cards, the beautiful Shopify graphic is not so great out of the box, but let me see. So your gift cards, this is something that's automatic with Shopify. You can add a gift card product. And people can actually purchase gift cards online. Let's just name this real quick so we can save it. How this works is someone comes into your Shopify store, right? And they purchase this gift card. It sends them an email, and that email has a link, and that link will link out to their gift card code, which they can come in, and when they're checking out, oh, of course, this is preview store, so let's come over here. All right, we go. sorry, this store is a little bit funny, but if we go to checkout right here, should have gone to a normal Shopify store, but this will be fine. If I go through this process, continue shopping, I choose my shipping method and continue to payment. Oh, sorry, I knew I should have gone to a normal store. Let's go to a normal store. I mean, you guys probably can figure this out by now. You know, when you check out something online that there's often a right here gift card or discount code. So you can put it in right here. Of course, this is not real, so it's not going to, but that's where you would put that in. It's going to subtract it from the gift card and they can use that until it's gone. And Shopify is going to handle it for you. It's going to subtract it when they spend on it. It's going to like say there's only $1 left. It'll only apply that $1. Shopify handles it all for you. You can also use those gift cards through the POS. There's a way to put it in through the POS. And you can also, with gift cards, use in-person gift cards. So you can, if someone comes to the store and you want to create them a gift card, you can issue a gift card and you can put your own gift card code in so that they can use their physical gift card both online and in store. Again, that link is in the, oops. Yeah, I'll put that slide up. That link is in the, that Linda was talking about, is in the chat. So feel free to click on that. And this is question time. So we've gone over the basics. So if there is any, please feel free to ask any specific questions because now.
Megan?
Yep.
With someone who's watched your webinar and they're really inspired by it, but it's new to them, what would you suggest would be 3 action steps they could take to move themselves forward on it?
That's a hard question to answer for this particular. Let's see, if they're brand new, the biggest action step is going to be figuring out what you're going to sell online. That's step 1. Step 2 is going to be getting your photos taken and then getting your shop set up. So it depends on where you're at, because if you don't have any products yet, you don't even have your sourcing done yet or any of that, that's obviously going to be a huge chunk of your time. That's going to be a big bite to bite off. And so take it one step at a time, figure out your products, figure out your sourcing before getting started on setting up your store.
And there is a question in the chat of, what if you have customers with terms and they don't pay by credit card or PayPal?
So if you have customers with terms, so like a net 30, so the best use case for that is to set up draft orders. However, there are apps where you can integrate your net 30 into your actual online store. There's also now some of this Wholesale Gorilla is probably like a good example. Of course, that's a wholesale client app, but you can also get a developer to set up something custom for your particular needs. But what Wholesale Gorilla does, or a developer could set up for your particular needs, would be something based on customer tags. So like a lot of like those net 30 needs, it's maybe not every client that has net 30, it's only a few. And so you can actually under customers, you can, oh gosh, we're gonna have to set one up. Real quick, I don't know what it's gonna make me put in. Let's see if I can set it up with that. Oh, awesome. Okay, so right here, there's a customer tag, and you can, a developer can actually set up something where certain customers are given the option of a net 30, and different things like that. But typically you're going to need some sort of an app, or you can use your draft orders, which ultimately acts as, sorry, over here in orders, your draft orders ultimately act as an invoice. And you can, oops, Just set this up real quick. Whoops. I'm sorry, that's a custom item. That's why it's not showing up. Hope I don't want to buy all of them. You can send their invoice right here, and you can put in the notes section, or even custom message. This is due September 4th. So there's a few different options, depending on what your needs are and how you need to integrate that.
Another question is, would you recommend setting up multiple stores or just one store if you feel that you have different products that can appeal to different customers and markets?
That is a loaded question. It depends on how different the products are. If we're talking, one is a dog food store and one is a clothing boutique for people, I would say 2 different stores. If one is a dog food store and a clothing boutique for dogs, I would consider making it 1 store. It's all about what's going to make the most sense for your customer, and what do you have capacity for? Because you could very well set up a separate store for a dog boutique and dog food, and do really well and market the dog food just with dog food marketing and dog boutique with just dog clothes marketing. However, you might be spreading yourself too thin, and it might be, if you're a smaller shop and it's just you or a small team, it might be more manageable for that to all be under 1 store with all sharing marketing, and getting all the same traffic. Because if you have 2 stores, their traffic is going to be separated from each other.
Megan, can you talk about the SBDC services and the different locations? And earlier you spoke about letting people know how to find the SBDC support near them.
Yeah, so that's the very last thing I was planning on going over. So I will.
Oh, here's another question before we go there.
Yes,
What licenses do I need to legally run a Shopify website?
Yep. So with licenses and legally running, it depends on your state. Your ones you're going to definitely want to look into are your business license, of course, and your use tax license. That's going to be almost everyone. So this is going to be the state, California. So you need a business license, you need a use site license. It's also going to depend on your county. And so you're going to want to talk to your specific local SBDC as well as your city center. I do not specialize in business permit startups, so that's not something I personally advise on. However, we do have advisors that are really, really great at helping people set up their business plans, which includes what you need to get. Can you repeat the ones you mentioned? Your business license and your use tax license are 2 that you definitely want to look into. But I would get with a one-on-one advisor and make sure everything's covered, or contact the city or county. It's very confusing. It can be very confusing. That's why I don't advise on it. Because even a license, I know for us, depending on where your address is, you're either getting your business license through the city or you're getting your business license through the county, depending on where the business is. It's very complicated. So so reach out to the city. You can Google search business licenses in your city, reach out to them, reach out to your local SBDC, and we can oh no, we're getting a lot of questions now. We are running out of time, so I can answer these 2 questions, and then I will jump into how to contact your local SBDC. Can you set login requirements for people to shop your site? If so, how? So that's a little bit complicated. There is, by default, there is a password setting. So this is the easiest way to do it, would be to go into your preferences. And by default, when you set up the site, it's going to do it for you, and it's going to enable a password. And you can set a password, so you could just give people the password, but there are accounts in your settings. It's actually under checkout, and you can enable customer accounts. Accounts are required, click save. The only problem with making them actually log in to access the account, I would look into apps. There's probably some apps for it. But if it's an instance like Wholesale Gorilla makes wholesalers log in to see wholesale prices. But a developer would also be able to force people to be signed in to access the account. But I'm sure there's apps depending on the use that you would need it for. Do you recommend Shopify experts in setting things up in regards of your business or just certain tasks? I'm not sure. Can you clarify that question? Do you recommend Shopify experts in setting things up? I'm not sure what specific things would be referred to. So I'll wait to see if you can clarify. In the meantime, we will talk about local SBDC. So wrapping up real quick, if you are in the Shasta County, Trinity County, in Northern California, then you can contact us directly for any one-on-one advising you need surrounding e-commerce, whether that is advising on setting up your business or your marketing plan or optimizing your Shopify site. There's really a slew of different professionals we have. We have someone who's great at SEO or Facebook advertising or Google advertising or social media management. We have a lot of specialized advisors that you have access to if you live in one of these two counties. If you do not live in one of these counties that we personally serve, there are SBDCs, as I mentioned, all over the country. And so you're going to want to go to americassbdc.org/find-your-SBDC. That's going to bring you to a page. And let me try to copy and paste that, put it in the chat for you guys.
Megan, I just want to let people know we recently moved the office to Sacramento Street in Redding, just to let people know we're on the other side of town now.
Great. Oops, I thought I copied Emily's message. I'll just delete that for now. Oops, sorry guys. So you can go to, oh, sorry, I direct messaged that link to David. I need to send it to everyone. All right, here's the link for finding your local SBDC. You can contact them to meet with an advisor. Again, that's paid for by your tax dollars, so it's at no cost to you. I'm sorry, I just heard someone chime in. Was there a question? All right. All right. Well, other than that, I think that is all we have for today. So I just thank you guys for coming and joining. I hope you guys got a good grasp of what is possible with Shopify and have the tools that you can now take and go and get online yourself. So we will see you soon and we'll see you around. And thanks again.